In the very early days of my experience with property, it was just the love of property, and with the potential to be able to add value and renovate and create something better from that needs some love, and to make money off it. But then as my education grew, I soon realised that there's a lot more to this. And you need to look way forward into the future and really think about what you truly want your retirement to look like, and property can take you there. It's actually all I think about. I think about property every single day. Every day I'm thinking through, well, how can I get through that challenge? How can we navigate that? I just love it. Just absolutely love property. I actually don't know when that moment was that I actually really did transition from that mentality of never considering a buyer's agent to then really being quite an advocate for it. Don't know when that was. It just sort of crept in there. But I'm really glad that it did, because it's for me, it's been the perfect way to navigate it, especially because I have the education, that I can go into making these decisions with a professional, and really, I really feel, like it's a collaborative, it's a great, joint relationship there. I knew how many properties that I needed in order to have a particular income in retirement. I knew how to calculate that. And of course, there's many different strategies in order to get there. But actually, the idea of purchasing commercial actually initially came from Ripehouse, and it wasn't just recently, just last year. It was the very first interaction that I had, and Ripehouse sent through a wealth plan that did incorporate transitioning through to commercial. And when I looked at those figures, and it actually just looked not achievable for me. I just thought, how am I going to do that? Because obviously you need a lot more, equity, deposit to do that. But looking at the cash flow that you can get, I thought, oh, okay, that's really interesting. And then I had been listening to, Jacob's various podcasts and etc. along the way. And I had that in my back of my mind that after purchasing so many residential, that I would be able to transition to then going down the commercial path. So, I'd been listening to various things on commercial, so I had a little bit of background. But it wasn't until I had the strategy session just last year, I was really pleasantly surprised that I was actually in a position to consider commercial, because I didn't think that my budget would be sufficient. So that was a really pleasant surprise. I was pretty excited about that, actually. And I've done it. It's actually, we haven't settled yet, but the finance is through, and that's really exciting. And now, because of that, come mid-year, I'm hoping to be able to buy a commercial in my personal name. So the one last year that was purchased, that's in May, June. So that has actually, I've just recently had a desktop valuation done on that one. And so that purchase price was $385,500, and desktop valuation now comes in at $420. So I think that's, just under 10% in 6 months. So fantastic. Then another 6 months, I can only predict that that's going to look even better. And in terms of the rental return on that one, the inherited tenant, they were paying $380, and now he's just signed a new lease, and the new rent come April will then be $450. So that's all really positive. And well, the other, sorry, I'm just trying to think back. The property, well, actually, it was with Ripehouse data. The purchase that I made in my super fund in 2019. So yeah, that was with Ripehouse data. That property was in South Australia, in Holden Hill, and that was purchased for 312. And I had that for 2 years, and I sold it in March for 500. So that was what enabled me to go commercial. So thanks very much, Ripehouse. I'm stoked. Well, you know, they are low budget properties, you know, that I started out and the one purchased last year, you know, they're not large purchase price, but for me it's, you know, I'm one individual. I've got to come up with that deposit, and so in terms of, well, firstly, leveraging the bank's money, I think I've done pretty well. The money that I've put into those properties has worked really hard, and for me, that's all I want. As long as my money's working hard for me, it can't be a bad decision. Yeah, so no, I feel really optimistic. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep at it and keep building. You know, with every 6 months, 12 months, my position gets better and better. And you know, as well as that, my work situation is getting better and better. So, you know, coupled together, you know, it just gives me the opportunity to, you know, to remain in the market and keep having options. So no, I'm really happy. I've got a plan. I've got a bigger plan, and you know, if you didn't offer those strategy sessions, the commercial purchase would not have happened. That would have been one residential, or, you know, 2 lower budget residential. So without that, yeah, commercial wouldn't have got a look in. So in that respect, it's gold. So yeah, it would be the most valuable to me are those strategy sessions, looking at the bigger picture and your broader options, because quite often you just go in, you know, thinking about one thing, and you can get very focused on that, and you need someone just to open up your eyes, just, you know, a bit more peripheral, and, you know, to truly see what your options are out there. Yeah, when Ripehouse, you know, reviews a property and how it's presented to you, all of the information, the data, it's fantastic. Yeah, you can definitely make an informed decision without having the education, because of how it's presented to you, and you know, how they work through it with you.
Short on time, our discovery calls just take 15 minutes. Click on the button below so that you can join the thousands of investors we've helped generate real wealth through property investment.